And once again, it didn't freeze. Good evening, everyone. It's Friday and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, namely here. Cheers. If I don't tell you, somebody always asks. So this evening's stream of verbal diarrhea is brought to you by Carlsberg Export. Got a lot to get through tonight, actually. We've got a couple of special guests in the green room there, and we'll be bringing in very shortly, right after we've seen who's in the roll call. Rubbish Guitar Bloke was first in, then Rent to Kill, Dave Fiendish, Peter Nicholson. We got Terry Day, David James, Johnny Random, Paul Trainer, BSc, no less, Mark Kerno, and Paul Trainer super chatted me a couple of quid. Thank you very much, Paul. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Then we got Grandpa Joe, all the way from New York City. Hello, John and all. It's Fatacaster Friday. Wishing everyone a safe and happy weekend. If you like what John does here, please consider his Patreon tier too and enjoy the extra benefits of twice a month Zoom chat. Well, thank you very much for bringing that up, Joe. I'm too modest to plug myself, but I can always rely on you to do it. Yeah, that Zoom thing on tier 2 of Patreon is becoming a nice little get together where perhaps we can speak a little bit more freely than we can on a public forum like this. Opinions tend to get a little bit less guarded, shall we say. If that sounds like your sort of thing, well, you know what to do. Anyway, then there's Ben Allmark and Tom Clark, who says, nice vintage telly gift, John. It is indeed. Yeah, that was the video from yesterday. We'll be talking about that guitar in a little bit as well. My old pal Craig Stamen is in, so is Theme Tunes and Malcolm Thompson. There's Stuart Young, Boulder 64. Nathan is in, so is Malcolm Spillett, Ian Clark, Dr. Gomez 1, and Steve Entwistle. There's Luke's as well, and John Ross. Stephen Hedger is in, bracing himself for the oncoming storm. Have you noticed how every bit of bad weather now, they always call it storm this or storm that or storm something else? We used to have a word for it, didn't we? You know, in between sort of about the end of October and, back end of February when it got a bit cold and a bit stormy. We used to call it, what was it? Winter. Anyway, who else have we got? We've got Joe McMurray, we've got Amadeus, we've got Mark Kerno. Well, you said you haven't, mate. But there's Anton, Jed Ellis, Robert Forsyth, Sean House is in, and so is Lefty Pick. There's Johnny D, Cylon Hybrid, and Chris Otterwell. Paul Teller is in, and scrolling down, I see we've got Thomas Mulvaney and the Daler 22. Austin Barrett is there, so is Peter S. and David Evans. Anyone else? Gary Shaw, session legend Gary Shaw, who's working a session tonight, so we're going to have to watch. He's going to have to watch on catch up. Hope it goes well for you, mate. Break a leg. There's Dave Snack Stevens, all the way from Dorset, and we've got John Mack. Who else? The Essex Cat, Colin Falcon, just round the corner from me. Red Car lad, much the same. There's Lee Trayford, also a local lad from round here. Cal Texper is there, and we got William Forrest, guitar bass dude. Peter Shields, Jay Ao Young, Searching for Tone. If you haven't checked out Searching for Tone's channel, then go and check him out. And then who else have we got? We've got John Little, we've got Peter Hall, Phil Leatham, Robbie F, Jeff Crouch, and I think that might be getting... Oh, there's Eric Luttinger. Have I said you already? Mr. Chris 5254 is in. So is Rexomatic, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona, no less. We got David Kearns. We got Lucy Lulu Music, guitar bass dude, and Robbie F. And Steve Cassidy, all the way from what I imagine is not a very sunny Dundee at the moment. Again, don't forget Steve's latest video straight after this live stream, 6 p.m. And Steve, any of you lads who've got the little blue wrench in your little avatar thing, then you are moderators. Feel free to chuck your links in the chat. We've got Anders Nybacken guitar. We've got John Channing. Dave Lewis is in, and the Gissy 77. And I believe that is it. I've tried to be as brief as possible with the roll call this week because we have got a couple of rather special guests with something of a really nice little feature for the show. You will remember that a little while ago I reviewed a beautiful guitar made by James McHugh at Agrajag Guitars, and he has been, I should say, raffling that guitar for the sake of Zoe's Place charity, in aid of that charity. They're a great local cause around here. They do a lot of good work for children who aren't basically having the best of luck, shall we say. Anyway, the charity raffle rather is closed. We reached James reached the target of raising a couple of grand. And what we're going to do in just a moment is we're going to draw the winning ticket, and James is going to tell you all about the guitar and, basically anything that we might need to know. So let's, here we go. This is James and Phil from Agrajag Guitars. There they are. Guys, there you are. You're on screen. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, mate. I'm doing pretty well. Right. So if anybody has been living under a rock and hasn't kind of heard of Agrajag Guitars, who are you and what do you do?
That's a good question. We fix guitars. Been here for nearly 4 years, next to the Riverside Stadium, and I guess we're here by accident, maybe.
Right.
I started making guitars for fun 10 years ago. Made a bit of a diary thing on Facebook about it, give it a name, and then people started coming around saying, you make guitars, could you fix this? Yeah, no trouble. And after a few years, I was making enough to hire a little workshop and do it full time. So it's
Nice one. Well, that's
by accident.
It's pretty much the definition of living the dream, isn't it? Which is what I always say. Thing is, when you say that, people think you're being sarcastic, but some of us genuinely are. So, do you want to tell us about this this rather special guitar that you built? And people might have seen the review I did of it, but it was a while ago. So, do you want to just remind us about it?
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate what you did for it. Spreading the word.
No worries.
And it's still here. We built it for Kev Smith. The full story is online. Kev obviously left us before we finished it. We got in touch with the family, and they said, well, it wouldn't be much good to us, the guitar, and they suggested doing something else with it. So we thought we'd finish it and try and raise some money for charity.
It is a beautiful guitar. I mean, I'm not just saying that because you're here. There are some guitars like back in I've never played a Kiesel, but I played one when they were called carving guitars, and you could just pick it up. Yeah. It's just right, and that's the same feeling I got from that guitar. It's just it works. There's nothing that you would think, well, if only they'd, it's a proper piece of work, mate. Congratulations on building something so
thanks very much. I mean, I don't know if it's that hard. I mean, there's a guy near me in my estate makes beer, and it's like it blows the socks off everything at the supermarket. And he says, well, it's like when you make biscuits at home, they're always miles better than the ones you buy in the packets. The same with guitars. If you spend time making it, it's perfect. It's going to be better than things off the shelf. So,
what are the plans for this guitar then? I mean, people know it's been raffled, but do you want to tell us a little bit about who it's in aid of for a start off? Where this money is going to be going to?
So, I might hand over to Phil. I might introduce Phil at this point, and he can tell us a little bit about the charity. I chose Zoe's Place kind of because when I was a school teacher, when I started in our house group, Zoe's Place was our house charity, so I got to know it through that. So I thought, why not choose that one? I thought it'd be nice to have a special guest on the stream rather than just me picking the numbers out, perhaps.
Avoid all personality. He wants to avoid all accountability, and he doesn't want everybody yelling at him when they don't win the guitar. So he's roped me in to give him a hand and keep him company, I think.
That's right. So I've managed to rope Phil in. And if you don't know Phil is the master brain behind Rock Rampage. So he puts on wicked bands at the Georgian Theatre, amongst other musical endeavours. and we've managed to rope him in. So
thanks for the plug.
These are,
I wasn't expecting
these
that.
Are these are wicked. I went to that one; it was immense. I'm going to this one; it's going to be brill, and I'd strongly recommend it.
Nice one. Well, if you ping me a link, I'll post it in the community section on YouTube. Hopefully, get some eyeballs on what you're doing there, Phil. So,
thanks very much. And I didn't expect to plug, and don't expect to plug, and I'm just really honoured to be here. James is a very, very old friend of mine, and he's very modest, as you know, as he's just kind of spent the past 5 minutes being very modest as well, talking about how biscuits are better when you make them at home. But nobody makes a guitar like James, I don't think, and we all know that.
Yeah.
And we've known each other since going back 20 years maybe. We used to play gigs together in our bands, and I still put on live music in my spare time, from little punk rock shows in tiny venues to tribute stuff's fun. So
nice one.
Very happy to help out. And There's Always Place is a fantastic charity. And I think James and Tom here have done a great job of wrangling together lots of other prizes as well, because, I think everybody would love to win the amazing Corvus, but there's a couple of other guitars, and there's a few setups and stuff in the mix. Some great runners-up prizes. So.
Right. Well. Shall we keep them in suspense no longer and find out who the lucky person is that's going to be getting a lovely guitar for Christmas?
Come on, yeah. Should we do? We've got 10 of these first.
Yeah. Okay.
About £40 star credit.
Yep.
Should we do those first?
Yep.
Yeah. Do it in reverse order.
Do it in reverse order. Yep. Your raffle, mate. Your rules.
And I'm old school, I'm used to sort of raffles being bits of paper in hats rather than digital things that you click.
You've even got a hat there to do it with.
I was trying to kind of add some digital efficiency, but they're very old school. A man works with his hands all day, so it's literally 2,043 bits of paper in a hat. So that's how you want to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yes,
please. Okay.
So how many of these £40 vouchers is there to win?
So there's going to be 10.
Okay. We'll go through this as quick as possible, because we know all your fans will be waiting to get on with like real guitar chat.
Well, or me talking cobblers, which is usually what it amounts to. But crack on.
So you want me to pick them out?
Yeah, I'll write them down as you pick them out.
I've already,
and I'll try and get the names.
This is an honour, but also terrifying. Okay, so I'll dig better. I'll do a better rummagey job. Right. So the first winner of a £40 voucher is 289 Green.
289 Green.
289 Green.
Green. I'll put these 289.
So are we going
to? Yeah, Green 289. If I can find the name quickly, I will.
Are we going to read the names out as we go?
Green 289.
If you have ticket 289 Green.
Yeah, Jared Hind. There we go. We've got names. Right, I'll keep going so we're not here all night. Okay, right. It's another green one I've pulled out, and it's 957.
957. So another £40 voucher. Green 957 is David McLean.
David McLean. I'm not looking in the hat as I'm pulling. Right, I'm going to keep going. 512 Green.
512 Green.
Green 512 is I think that's Jeff Crouch.
Jeff Crouch.
Another green one.
Yep.
294.
294. £40 star credit. Green 294 Green.
It's just occurred to me that someone could win 2 vouchers.
Oh yeah,
and you get 80 quid's worth of stuff done.
Yeah,
that's fine as well. 294 Green.
Lefty Pick saying that's not my name. You got it wrong.
I can't see that. Hang on, 294 Green.
Everyone's going to get an email, I think. Is that right? Let's keep going with the number in.
Yeah, exactly. I can't find that right now, but we'll.
Wait, so you're on the pile.
Yeah.
499 orange.
Orange, nice. 499.
Right.
Which is Peter Goddard.
Peter Goddard, congrats. Right.
Oh, we've got Lee Trayford in the chat there saying 294. It's me.
Well done. Cheers, Lee. 727 Green.
727 Green. Keeping track of how many of these vouchers is.
Yeah, so that's 6 in total. 727 Green.
Right. And I'm going to go the
Danny
green.
Davies.
It's green again, 719.
719 green. I'll probably put the green ones at the top.
No, it's a good mix. I'm not looking in.
719 green is Danny Davies again. He's won 2. He bought
Danny Davies.
Two vouchers for that guy.
Orange 757.
757.
We were chatting earlier, weren't we, James, that some people did spend a lot of money on tickets. They maybe bought 50 quid's worth, 80 quid's worth. Which is fantastic for the charity, and obviously
it is, especially because we got it doubled as well. So we put £2,043 in, and then the big give doubled that. So we ended up giving them 4,500.
Nice one.
Really good timing with this thing called the Big Give, which was just doubling charity donations, and then gift aid on top. So yeah, £4,500 it ended up being. Orange,
absolutely outstanding. 828 orange.
Orange 828 is, I think, is surname Loffrey. Loffrey 8828.
Mr. or Mrs. Loffrey.
No, that's green. Sorry, green. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrong colour. Yeah. Orange 828.
Orange 828. Sorry about that. Good at this.
Give it to the wrong person a few years ago.
How many more vouchers?
I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 so far.
Is it one more?
Right. Oh, we lost John.
Yeah.
John's back.
Hello.
I'm
back.
Yeah.
One more.
Green 130. Right.
Green 130.
Right, by my count, chaps, that's the 10 vouchers.
Jan Birch. Well done.
Some guitars then.
Guitars. We'll do this one. Should we do this one first?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
So what was here?
Sorry, yeah, it's super pointy. Sorry, dude.
I like my eyes.
I'd have given my eye teeth for this when I was like 15, learning Metallica riffs. Sorry, dude. Yep. This is immense. Obviously, it's like to a seasoned blues rocker who's got a few nice planks already. Maybe not, but I mean, like for someone starting out on the guitar, who's into like maybe more extreme starts. It's ace. It really is ace.
Yep.
So this is for the Jackson.
Do you want to draw this one?
No, that's why I brought you here. Yeah.
Do your job.
It's because the customers who win or lose, well, the people who don't win will be in to possibly complain to James. Right, okay, I've got one in my hand. So the Jackson is, it's a low number, 67.
Orange 67.
If you got in early, got your donation early. Are we okay for time, John? Are we taking too long?
No, this is fine, mate.
Orange 67. Is it Mr. McGee?
Barry?
Mr. McGee. Yeah, I think so.
1, 2, 3, Barry McGee. I used to be a bingo caller, in Billingham. There's an old school bingo hall above Asda in Billingham Town Centre. And one of my summer jobs as a child was in the bingo hall. Anyway.
Yes.
What's the next prize, James?
Remember the numbers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What we got here then?
The one that was advertised when I went to it was very kindly donated. I mean, all of these have been very kindly donated by various people. This was donated by Mr. Jared Hind, our resident shredder, and we've refurbished it. And it's a Ace guitar. This was donated by Mr. Phil Grimwood, and we refurbished it. And it's one of the Harley Bentons.
Oh, I've played one of those, and a lovely little guitar.
Genuinely, this is heaps of fun. It really is. The pickups have got loads of grunt, and it feels great to play. There's nothing not to like. It's set neck. Mm-hmm. It's immense. So yeah, but the other one that we got, which is very kindly donated by somebody else, just wouldn't be refurbished as much as we tried.
Okay.
It wouldn't polish up and it wouldn't cooperate. So we found this at the last minute. Which is
beautiful little gold top there.
It is. So this is like second prize, silver prize.
Right. So the silver medal podium goes to?
Stream's working.
Yeah.
John,
no, I think we're good.
Okay, right.
I think we're there. Yes, it's a bit glitchy this week for some reason.
It's okay, right. I've got one in my hand. I'm not looking. I'm just going to pull it out. Gold top, Harley Benton. Oh, wow. Number 5.
Number 5, orange.
5 orange.
5 orange is...
What's a low number?
Avanzato or Calogero. Probably no pronunciation. Do you know that guy?
I do. He's a one-time student of mine. He's a London lad but lives in Italy.
All right, okay.
Amazing.
I do envisage, like I was just saying to Phil before we started, having done a few things like this, there's bound to be problems, missing tickets, crossed wires, and problems with shipping. And he might not be prepared to pay the shipping to Italy for that guitar, so we might have to draw some tickets maybe after the fact. So we may be in touch with people later on saying, we've had to draw extra tickets and choose replacement people for.
Well, hopefully.
Okay, well, that's a bridge we'll cross when we come to it, I think. So, shall we get into
if he wants to pay for us to ship this to him, we will ship that to him. Absolutely no problem at all. I imagine it's 100 quid, 150 quid to Italy.
Yeah. But yeah, for a great guitar. Oh, so we'll do the top prize. This is it.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, right. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to just have a really good rummage. And say when. Do you want to be the person that says when, and I'll stop rummaging?
Oh, I don't want that level of responsibility.
Okay.
John,
when? Right. Got that to clump. Right. This is the one I'm pulling out. It's green. 419. And James is searching the spreadsheet to pull up a name.
419. Can you see?
Please don't be me. That'd be awkward.
Ooh, not that one. Green.
I can see it
Can
too.
you? Oh, there. That one. Yeah. That row there. Is it Mr. Bryn Randall?
Bryn
Randall, you are a lucky chap.
Well done.
So anybody know Bryn?
I don't.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing, right? We don't want to get accused of favoritism or.
No, we don't want it to be like where they raffle the car on Father Ted.
Great episode.
Yeah. So I gather you'll be in touch with email to all the winners and so on and so forth, and let the lucky people know that they've got something nice out of this.
I'm going to do it as quick as possible. It's going to take a day or two. But if you've got your ticket, you know what you've got. Feel free to send me those messages, asking questions. But it might just take a while for me to work through that list and get in touch and work some stuff out.
Okay, well, it feels like I've been talking about Agrajag guitars and this raffle for some time now, and I'm going to have to find something else to blaze on about. But I think it's an absolutely stunning and fantastic thing you've done there, James. The sad circumstances that this started out with, we all in this part of the world, we all know Kev Smith or knew of him, and he was an absolute monster guitar player, and he's such a sad loss. And to think that you took what was a private commission, a build that you were doing for profit, and you've ended up doing this with it. I think that is utterly commendable. And you are a decent human being, James. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no, thanks for all of the
Sorry, I won't embarrass you anymore, mate.
Yeah, it was fun to do. It was fun to do. Yeah, and I really appreciate all of the time you've given us to promote it, to get to the target. Yeah, and then £4,500 is brilliant, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. It is. Jay How Young is saying in the chat, wait, who won the Jackson? Was it like 2 guitars that the guy in Italy won? No, it was just that was just a Harley Benton.
Mr. McGee, Barry McGee.
Barry McGee won the Jackson. So there we go. Anyway, chaps, what you do? What are you up to? Are you hanging around for the rest of the stream, or have you got lives to lead?
We've both got young kids in single figures, so we've got kids to pick up. So we're probably going to scoot, if that's all right.
Absolutely, mate. Well, thanks for dropping in, and thanks again for providing content for me on the live stream, and B, for doing such a wonderful gesture. It's absolutely fantastic, and I will be troubling you, James, in the new year for some work on a Telecaster that needs a little bit of TLC. So expect to hear from me once I paid my tax bill in January.
Oh God, don't know.
Sorry, did I raise a subject?
Yeah,
right.
Tax month is always fun.
Right.
Concerning readers' wives, I've got some pictures to send you on that matter as well.
Okay, well, that's where we're going to be going next, so stay tuned. And till the next time, lads, thanks very much, and I'll see you again.
Cool.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, wasn't that fun? Sorry about the stream going a bit glitchy there during that prize draw, but we are all kind of at the mercy of the IT gods. Right. Well, it's just time for a little bit of a lubrication. Jimmy James is saying that vintage needs stainless steel frets. No comment. No comment. Watch this space. I'm out of focus. There we go. Or was that the amount you've been drinking? Anyway, let's just head on over now to... I should really figure out a way of playing that Vision on gallery music for this, shouldn't I? For this week's pick of... I call it, because I'm clean of mind, the Viewers Guitar slot, but it's quickly become known as Readers' Wives, which apparently is the kind of feature that is in a type of magazine that I've never bought. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a look. Go into screen share and let's see what's first up as a random choice this week. We've got this lovely little thing. This is from Chris Snowden, Mr. Chris in the chat there. This is his electro mandolin. Now, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that is that's a right-handed configuration, and we know that all of Mr. Chris's other instruments are lefties. So, do you do a Hendrix with that one, mate? Just asking. Then moving on, we've got this one from Derek Stopperton. This is his go-to acoustic. I've had a few Yamaha guitars that have, especially acoustics, that have come in on this slot here, and it's always someone's go-to acoustic, a Yamaha. They are just one of those brands that quietly get on with making damn fine instruments, and they're not aspirational, they're not kind of priced like boutique guitars, but they're just bloody good quality, and I can understand why this is your go-to acoustic, mate. It looks very similar to an acoustic that I had back in the 80s, which was also a Yamaha. I don't know if they made the F310 back then, but yes, it looks very, very similar. Anyway, what else have we got? Oh, one from Dr. Gomez too. Dr. Gomez, rather. This is picture number 2 that he sent us. This is his Epiphone 2020 Les Paul Special in a lovely TV yellow with a pair of P90s. And, I mean, some would say that is, distilled essence of electric guitar. It'll growl like a proper Les Paul, but it'll also do the spanky sort of Telecaster thing. That I think there needs to be a Les Paul special in my life. Again, wait until the tax bill has been paid in January, and I'll let you know closer to then. Then another one from Dr. Gomez. This is his Fernandez Ravel with sustainer pickup. Yeah, that was. I remember when this first came out in the 80s. These sustainers, wasn't it? Floyd Rose who originally who made them, and I think he licensed them or sold the design or something. It's basically an Ebo, but inside the pickup, which, excuse me, frog in me throat. Which, it makes that long note in Parisian Walkways an absolute certainty, even at bedroom volumes. I've never played a guitar with one in, but again, it's like the more I'm doing this kind of slot on the show, it's the more I'm kind of thinking of guitars I need to try and features I need to try, like a sustainer pickup. A Faisley Rickenbacker copy, which, again, Dr. Gomez. I've modified it, new tailpiece pickups and a naughty logo. Let's have a little bit of a look at the logo there. Yeah, that is a bit naughty, isn't it? Yes. I'm always reminded of the logo on Lemmy's Rickenbacker bass, which, when you look closely, it actually said "rotten bastard," which is that's Lemmy all over, isn't it? Anyway, what I got? A pair of Strats from Johnny D. Now, don't be fooled. This is not some custom shop relic thing that costs oodles of money and is kept in a glass case. This guitar was brand new in 1973, and every nick and ding and battle scar and bit of wear on this guitar, excuse me again, is absolutely authentic, the way it should be, frankly, not fake, not phony, not contrived, not forged, shall we say. And then this guitar here, this is a guitar that Johnny, I think he said he got it as an Amazon return, a Squire Classic Vibe 50s Strat in black. That is almost the one that I bought when I bought me Classic Vibe Strat, because basically I was torn between getting an Eric Clapton Blackie lookalike or a Hank Marvin Fiesta Red lookalike, and I went with the Hank one. But that one there, it looks the as my dad would say, the pot model of Eric's guitar in the 70s. Then this one here. Now, as I said to Len, Mr. McIver, who sent this picture in, never really been one for flying Vs. They just don't, aesthetically, they don't float my boat that much. But this one does. Just with the blacked out EMG pickups and the brass hardware, I just think it looks somehow. It's like it looks like it could be Flash Gordon's guitar. Do you know what I mean? Or what's that film that early science fiction film when in black and white silent movie where it's showing what the 1980s are going to look like, and Shape of Things to Come. That's the one, and and all of the aeroplanes are still biplanes and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's got that sort of retro futuristic look about it, and do I need a flying V in my life? Watch this space. Then Mississippi Blues Taylor guitar. Mississippi Blues is one of the tier 2 Patreon guys, and he was telling us about this in the Zoom chat a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned he'd got this guitar, but he didn't show us it. And this is, when I opened the email with this picture in it, it was my first time seeing it, and damn, but that's a nice looking guitar. Oh, dear me, that is a real stunner, isn't it? With a slotted headstock and everything. Just beautiful, beautiful looking. And just looking at that it's going to sound like honey in your ears. It's an absolutely beautiful looking thing. And again, acoustics. I don't usually sort of get gas for acoustics, but yes, that one certainly floats my boat. What we got next? From Mississippi Blues again. This is his parts caster. What we've got? We've got a double bound candy apple red Fender Performer, double bound candy apple red. Okay, that's the body, obviously. Fender Performer maple neck, 9.5-inch radius, 22 jumbo frets, custom shop Texas special pickups, and a 4-way switch with road-worn hardware. Yeah, that 4-way thing. I've done that before, and it is a nice mod to do to a telly. And I'm thinking, have I just got a Telecaster recently, or a Telecaster style guitar that might benefit from that? Yes. Again, watch this space. And then Mr. Chris, 52, Rubbish Guitar Bloke. Where did I get Mr. Chris from? This is Rubbish Guitar Bloke's Strandberg, which has got, is that a clanger on the head? Well, I was going to say on the headstock, but it's a Strandberg, so it doesn't have headstock. Is that a clanger at the top of the guitar there? It's anyone remember the clangers? Blue String Pudding, the Soup Dragon, the Iron Chicken, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you have to be from the UK and of a certain vintage to remember the clangers. Yeah. I almost tried a Strandberg several months ago, but my arm was in a sling, so it didn't really work out. But there may be one coming up on the channel at some point in the near future. Again, that's something that's kind of in me head, but hasn't kind of quite made it onto video yet. So watch this space. And I think that is the last of this week's selection of viewers' guitars. Jimmy James is saying, I think we saw the Strandberg last week. I did get a bit of deja vu there when I was showing that, but I'm usually pretty assiduous at moving things from the before to the after folder. Apologies if I didn't do that in time. But anyway, you got a second chance to see it. Anyway, chaps, just something I want to talk about before we go into this week's Reader's Tale, and it is a good one this week, I've got to tell you. I've had a load of responses to that, by the way. By the way, if you have pictures of guitars that you want to see on the show, then just send them to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Oh, dear me, this has been a bit of a lively pour, I'm afraid. jrguitartuition@gmail.com. JR, those are my initials. Guitar Tuition, that's what I do as a job, @gmail.com. Yeah, send them in. And if you've got any kind of stories or rock and roll tales that even have just the tiniest kernel of truth in them, then I want to hear them. Send those to the same address there. I don't care if you gild the lily a little bit, if it's a little bit, kind of enhanced for entertainment purposes, as long as it's a good yarn. And there's the lamb, a couple of quid for a flake. Thank you very much, Lammy. Are you still off the drink, by the way? Yes, you got to feel sorry for people that don't drink, because when they wake up first thing on the morning, that's the best they're going to feel all day. Yes, so where was I? Yes, send your rock and roll tales in, and we'll kind of read them out, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to go to the relevant folder and this little text file that I've got. Now, this one, I think we'll do two this week. I think we'll do, two this week. Yeah, there's something I want to talk about, but I'll do the viewer's tale first of all. This one comes from Terry Day, and it concerns the late and sadly missed Peter Green. He says, years ago, I had a friend who lived next door to Peter Green's brother. He had a lot of Peter's stuff, gold discs, etc. And my mate told him I was a great fan of Peter. And to my surprise, one day he turned up and gave me Peter's tape recorder and a bag full of his tapes. Peter's brother said I could borrow them. They were all manner of stuff, some studio, some live gigs, and one, get this, one where they were even writing Man of the World. So, like, imagine being a fly on the wall, even in an audio sense, for the writing of like, Man of the World by Fleetwood Mac. There were so many that I didn't have time to listen to them all before I had to give them back. Although I'm ashamed to admit it, I did, in inverted commas, forget to give one back, which I still have. I often wonder what happened to all those tapes. A unique piece of rock history, destroyed, or laying in a cupboard somewhere, waiting to be found. That is, I mean, that is like being given the Dead Sea Scrolls, isn't it? That's on that kind of level. It's like, imagine hearing the initial demos for Man of the World. J.L. Young saying, haha, the worst I feel is when I wake up. Lammy saying, no, I have a vodka in hand. It's nearly Christmas after all. Where are we? Let's have a wee look. Flake and an ice cream scoop. Yes, it was a very, very lively pour, it has to be said. But anyway, let's make use of it. Let's make some room in the glass. And I think we'll do another one as well, because I'm getting a lot of these stories coming in. So it's, I want to try and make sure that if you send something in, it doesn't end up waiting too long. Here's a couple from Austin Barrett. You may remember that Austin sent in a picture of his 1972 Telecaster a few weeks ago, and it got pinched, and he got it back. So this is, and I said, I bet there's a story in there somewhere. And he's kindly furnished us with a story. It went missing when we were packing up from a rehearsal in the back of a pub. I never thought I would see it again. A couple of months later, I got a call from a mate who said someone tried to sell him my guitar. We went out to see it. It was black rather than natural, but I recognised the damaged fret, and tuner number was gone a couple of years ago. I refinished the whole thing, even the frets. It took me 3 attempts. At one time I tried to put a trem on a Telecaster. The body behind the bridge is not wood. I had to fill it and grain it, as that was my job. So, got it back and restored it. And the addendum to that is that, again, from Austin Barrett, I used to do backstage security working at Wembley, and the Jam was playing, great British band. I was put on the VIP box and told, don't let anybody in without a pass. So along came Jack Nicholson and his little gang, and when I asked him for his pass, he said he didn't have one. He said, don't you know who I am? Always the mark of an arrogant celebrity, that, isn't it? And I said, I don't give an F, and sent him away. If I'd let him in with no pass, I would have got the sack. Later, the boss turned up and moved me to outside the green room. The band was still playing, and a few people went in. I got bored, so I went inside and had a drink. They must have thought I was. They must have thought I knew the band or something, because I got given 2 tickets to Paul Weller's birthday party at the Greyhound pub in Hammersmith. So me and a mate went, and I met all his family, had a few drinks, and nobody twigged that I was gate crashing. It's all 100% true. Nice little rock and roll story there. Nice one, mate. And good that you got your Telecaster back as well. That is, proper karma, that, isn't it, when you get something back like that? Good things happen to good people and all that. Anyway, what did I want to talk about? Yes, it seems that this week I have, in Tuesday's video, which was all about the 5 replacement musicians who improved the band that they joined after the original member or the previous member had either left or been sacked or whatever. Now, these top 5 Tuesday videos, they're never an average video. They never can. When you log into your YouTube dashboard, or YouTube Studios it's called, you get given like a ranking of your best and worst performing videos, and the top 5 Tuesday videos are never like in the middle. They're always kind of like number 1 in the kind of top 10, or number 10 in the top 10. People either love them or they just show no interest. It is an absolute lottery when I do those top 5 Tuesday videos, but I enjoy doing them. I enjoy doing all the videos. And this topic was suggested by Paul Taylor, one of the gentlemen of this parish, and I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I'll do that. I need to tell you what's coming up on the channel this week as well, don't I? So don't let me forget that. So anyway, I did 5 bands who were better when this person replaced that person. And it very much seems like I upset the militant wing of the Sid Barrett Appreciation Society. I certainly got them moistening their tenor lady pads, it seems, because, dear me, all the names I've been called. Sometimes I do respond and have a little bit of sport with people. And some people were just genuinely like, it pains me to kind of hear that you don't like the kind of music that I'm into. And I'll have a bit of back and forth and say, I'm sorry, well, tastes differ. But some of the, I'm not going to call it abuse, because it's not abuse. It's just kind of people. It's the caps lock keyboard warriors. I really upset them, and also the Richie Blackmore Appreciation Society. They have a very, very an almost paramilitary wing. When I said that I prefer Steve Morse Deep Purple to Richie Blackmore Deep Purple. I said, in the video that Machine Head, great album. But when you take the overall output of the Richie Blackmore era Deep Purple, compare it to the overall output of the Steve Morse era Deep Purple, I prefer the Steve Morse era. And, and some people got really, really, really angry about that. And you do wonder that maybe they need to get out the house a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. But to everybody who called me an idiot, delusional, a meaningless nobody, and what else? Well, there's a few that I won't repeat because I want to keep the channel monetized. To everyone who said all of those nice things about me, I just want to say thank you for clicking on the video. You've made this month's YouTube revenue. Well, you've just paid for my Christmas shopping, basically. Thank you very much. I meant to tell you what's coming up on the channel this week, didn't I? Because it's all a bit sort of jumbled up, this week's live stream, isn't it? But we'll get there. Sunday is the review of the vintage V75. This guitar here that was very, very generously sent to me by Jim. Beautiful, beautiful Telecaster guitar, this. Unless you absolutely have to have the word Fender on the headstock, if you're looking for a good workhorse Telecaster, then just get one of these. That's all I'm going to say. So Sunday is the review of that guitar. Then Monday is sort of a continuation of the lead guitar instructional kind of series of videos, and we're looking at solo construction this week. Basically, continuing on from an earlier episode where I've talked about phrasing, how to structure a solo, how to just basically develop the instinct for doing that. Then on Tuesday, it is another suggestion that came in via you good chaps in the chat there. We're going to be talking about my top 5 rock drummers. And it was a surprisingly difficult list to put together, that actually, I managed, and that's what we're talking about on Tuesday. Let's see if that one goes as mental as last week's video. Let's see if I upset the Ringo Starr Appreciation Society. But anyway, then on Wednesday, the continuing saga of what each individual mode sounds like. It's a music theory video. It's an instructional video. So that one will be right down at the bottom of the top 10 rankings. But those videos do tend to get the phone ringing or the email pinging for people wanting lessons, which is why I do them, to be honest with you. And the Patreon people seem to appreciate them as well. This week we are looking at the dark and exotic sound of the Phrygian mode. So that is what's coming up on Wednesday. Then another Telecaster video on Thursday. You might recall that last year, or was it earlier this year? I can't remember, but a very generous viewer of this channel, a chap called Sean, loaned me his Patrick Eggle Berlin Pro, and he also loaned me a Fender FMT Telecaster. Well, he's loaned me another Telecaster this time, the Fender JA90, the Jim Adkins signature model. And I will confess that I had to Google who Jim Adkins was. And if you have to do that, well, you'll find out the same as me that he is the guitar player in a band called Jimmy Eat World. And he has a really rather nice signature Telecaster, and you're going to see it on Thursday, and that is what's coming up on the channel this week. Let's have a look and see what I've missed in the chat. Johnny D is saying, Mr. Blackmore is not the most gregarious of people. I remember reading a hilarious review in Sounds regarding a Purple gig. Richie came in from some mild banter, and shall we say, when he interacted with a pyro. Okay. Let's have a look. Strumming Ronin is saying the theory videos are kind of heavy. Lots to unpack on those. I try to make it as accessible as possible, but I do like to try and keep the videos at the maximum 20 minutes long and ideally under 15 minutes long. So it can be like, a bit like standing in front of the fire hose, I suppose. Mr. Chris 5254 is off. He's saying bye. Well, thanks for joining, mate. And what else have I mixed? George Wall is saying Richie Blackmore is a Richard head. Yes, indeed, he is. Searching for Tony saying my comment section doesn't seem so bad now. Yeah, the first video I ever did where the comment section lit up like that and people were, let's just say not being entirely kind was back in 2018. And it was, before that I had like a very small audience, but who were very complimentary. And suddenly this video that I did in 2018 kind of blew up and got the channel monetized. But it also, that was my head above the parapet. And, a lot of people were throwing rotten fruit at me. And I just thought, well, am I the kind of person who is going to lose sleep over what somebody on the internet is typing about me? And when you think about it like that, you just think, well, no, screw them. I've got a nice little house in a lovely part of the world. I've got a lovely wife, a dog that I take for. I live an idyllic life. I'm not going to let some prat, sat typing in his, in his mother's basement, ruin me day. So now it's just water for duck's back, it has to be said. But it just surprised me that such an innocuous video, like the Tuesday one, got such extreme reactions. It's like, it's like some people have no ability to interact with other human beings in a way that acknowledges that other people might have different opinions to you. Austin Barrett saying, John, love you. Thanks. Well, yeah, very kind, mate. Thank you so much. Craig Stamen is saying, I do enjoy the theory vids. My favourite is a Phrygian dominant sound, very popular in metal, which is what I play. Yes. I remember you playing your Strandberg round here, and I remember making a certain comment after you finished playing your little bit, and it might have rhymed with smash grasted or something like that, because you are quite the shredder, mate. It has to be said. God O'Connell, what you're saying there now. John, some people are mad at the world and just rant at whatever. Pay it no mind and keep on trucking. Yeah, I mean, there is that phenomenon. It just seems to be sad that it's all the more prevalent these days, where you get the feeling that some people just can't. They wake up each morning, and before they've even put the kettle on and made their first cuppa, they're thinking, what am I going to be offended by today? So it's, I just can't conceive of going through life like that. It's just, just like, how happy are these people? You know, look at me. It's Friday. I'm drinking beer. I'm having a chat. You know, I've got a curry to go and eat later, and then probably watch an episode or two of Father Ted. You know, I'm happy. I'm probably happier than they are. Rexomatic is saying, looking forward to the Jim Adkins telly review. I've been tempted by that one with the red grain finish in the P90 pickups. The only thing that held me back was my perception of the finish being thick. It is a kind of typical, because I think these are made in Indonesia, if I remember correctly. It is a typical sort of thick gloss fender finish. But it's a properly nice guitar, I will say. Let's have a look. How does the missus cope during the winter market and looking after you and Dougal? Says Peter Nicholson. Well, my missus is Canadian, you know, and they're used to having to dig their way out of the front door when they get a dusting of snow. You know, it's like, unless it's like 6 foot of snow, it's not really snow in Canada. But it's as far as looking after me and Dougal, well, you know, it's I'm no bother. I mean, I'm low maintenance. Me, just put me in my armchair and make sure I've got a beer, and then you hardly know that I'm there. I'll just stick my headphones on and open the laptop or read a book or something like that while she's watching a reality TV or Coronation Street or whatever. And Dougal Dougal has this penchant for slippers, and the slippers have to live in a slipper safe that he can't get into. But if you leave your slippers out of the slipper safe, then the slippers are very, very, very quickly turned into X slippers. Peter Hall is saying, if Animal is the best rock drummer, you're a bald-headed idiot. Talking to my missus, you sound exactly like her there, mate. I'll tell you a wee story before we wrap in. I had to go in for some radiotherapy a few years ago. You know the story, I won't bore you with it, but basically I had a little visit from the cancer fairy. And one of the things that you have to do before the radiotherapy is make sure that you are empty, shall we say. And they give you a little pipette to kind of go, you know, kind of squirt up the old, oh, there you go, which encourages the emptying, shall we say. And anyway, it hadn't fully worked, shall we say. It hadn't kind of completely, evacuated the necessary orifice. And so I'm laid there on the table and they're scanning me with the ultrasound thing to make sure I'm okay for the radiotherapy. And she says, the nurse says, have you done your kind of emptying today? I said, well, yeah. Well, it doesn't look like it. I said, are you telling me I'm full of shit? I said, you sound like my bloody missus. And we did laugh. Anyway, chaps, 59 minutes and 30 odd seconds in, and not to put too fine a point on it, what goes in has to come out. So I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'm getting a bit peckish for me curry. Don't forget Steve Cassidy straight after this live stream. Go and check out his video. But until then, I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern bloke talk cobblers for an hour. I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But till next time, gentlemen, please.